different types of vaginal discharge and what they mean. Stay tuned. Welcome back. My name is Kiara Selena, also known as Nurse Key, and in today's video we're going to have another juicy girl talk, and we are going to be talking all about vaginal discharge. Ever since I posted my BV and yeast infection video, I have literally gotten tons of messages from girls all over the world basically telling me that they are experiencing little changes in their vaginal discharge and that they don't know exactly what those changes mean. So I figured I would make this video for you guys to kind of give you guys a better understanding of what may be going on down there and to kind of point you guys in the right direction so that you guys can get treatment, whether it be over the counter or at a doctor's. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Before we get into what's abnormal, I think it's really important for us to know what is normal, because I've also gotten a lot of young females asking me what normal discharge looks like, and I would say it looks anywhere between clear and white. Now the vagina is a very busy lady, so you might see that your discharge may change throughout your cycle, but usually it should be more on the clear, between clear and white, and there really shouldn't be a smell, right? So if you smell it, you might smell something very, very faint, very slight, but it shouldn't be a foul smell. It shouldn't smell bad. So if you smell it and it smells bad, then that probably means that there's something going on. But once again, if there's a very faint, very slight smell, that is completely normal. There's nothing that you have to worry about. Now, the next type of normal discharge is ovulation discharge or fertile discharge. And I don't know if some of you guys have experienced this before, but if you've ever wiped yourself and noticed that there's like a clump, like a jelly clump. I'm gonna put a picture up here so you guys can see it, because I'm literally like, as I'm describing it, it's getting more and more awkward. But honestly, it's very comparable to egg white. So it should be clear, kind of thick, sticky. And sometimes if you put it in between your fingers and you stretch it, you will see that it'll stretch. It sounds disgusting, but it is what it is. We ovulate, it's ovulation discharge, and that is also very normal. So if you see that, there's nothing you need to worry about. It just means that you're ovulating. Move on to yeast infection. So what will your discharge look like if you have a yeast infection? For yeast infections, your vaginal discharge will be white. It will be very clumpy. It'll be very, very thick. If you take a mirror and you look, you will be able to see like it is clumpy, it is thick, it is white, and it is very comparable to cottage cheese. A lot of people compare it to cottage cheese. So if you have that kind of discharge accompanied by itching, you probably have a yeast infection. Now with yeast infection, you won't really have an odor. The main things you will notice is the cottage-like discharge with the itching, and you might notice that down there might be a little bit redder or a little bit more swollen than usual. And there are a lot of over-the-counter products that you can get for that. I actually have a video. I have a whole girl talk playlist down below. So I highly suggest that you guys click on that playlist later on so that you guys can look at my videos basically explaining the bad habits that cause yeast infections, as well as how you guys can treat them over the counter. The next one is BV or yeast infections, and this is another common infection that women get. It is not an STD, however, it is most commonly found in women who are sexually active. And for this one, your discharge will be more on the frothy / gray side. So some women have seen that their discharge has turned a little bit more on the gray side or very frothy. If you take a mirror and you look, you'll see bubbles. I'll post a picture so that you guys can see. But if your discharge looks anything like this, especially if it has the giveaway symptom, which is the foul, fishy smell, it may be that may be an indicator that you have bacterial vaginosis. Now, this is not an STI like I mentioned before, and there are over-the-counter treatments that you can get for this. I know that Caniston has the 7-day gel treatment that you guys can use and see if that works. I have a whole bunch of videos about over-the-counter products that you guys can use to help with your BV and your yeast infections if you guys are not a big fan of medications. However, the quickest and the most efficient way to get it, to get rid of it and to make sure that it's gone, like really gone, is to go see your doctor and get some antibiotics. And the most common antibiotic that they prescribe for this is metronidazole or Flagyl. And that'll usually be prescribed for 5, 7, or 10 days, depending on the doctor, but it's really usually for 7 days, twice a day, and then it goes away. One thing I really want you guys to understand with antibiotics is that even if your symptoms go away, it is really important that you guys take your full dose of antibiotics. Even if the symptoms go away after 2 2 days of taking them, don't think that you're cured and that you can stop taking your antibiotics. It's really important for you to finish it all the way through just to prevent future complications such as antibiotic resistance, which is just not funny. I'm not really going to go into detail about that here. I go into detail in my other videos, so make sure you click on that playlist. I stay stuttering. Make sure you click on that playlist to get the details about that. Next one is trichomoniasis, and this is very different from a yeast infection because this is actually a STI or an STD. And the giveaway symptom for trichomoniasis is yellow or green vaginal discharge. So if you wipe yourself and you see that your discharge is yellow or green, that is an indicator that you may have trichomoniasis. Now, you don't really have to worry too much. This is a treatable STI. They usually treat it with 1 dose of antibiotics, usually Flagyl, also known as metronidazole. But if you do have trichomoniasis, you may also have other symptoms like burning or pain while urinating. You may have some itching, and you may also have some foul smelling vaginal discharge. So if you have like a very pungent kind of fishy odor accompanied with the green and yellow discharge, then you may have trichomoniasis, and you have to go see a doctor so that the doctor can prescribe you antibiotics so that you can get treated. The next kind of discharge is brown discharge, and this is actually normal. Sometimes your period may go away. You may not have blood for a day or so, and then maybe 2 days after your period is gone, you start seeing like small like brown spots on your paper when you wipe, and that is completely normal. That is just oxidized blood. So it's just old blood that may have been, lingering up there that finally made its way down. So honestly, you don't have to worry about this. This is just old blood. If it's happening like when you're like way before your period, maybe you may want to get that checked out. But once again, if it happens maybe a couple days after your period has ended, it's just a sign that you just had some old blood lingering around and it just finally made its way down. So there's nothing you really need to get checked out for. And the last kind of discharge is pink discharge. So if your period is due in a couple of days and you start seeing a little change in your discharge and you start seeing that your discharge is pink, that may just be an indicator that your period is coming, right? Because it's that blood mixing with your white normal discharge, right? So when you mix white and red paint together, what happens is it turns pink. So it just may mean that your period is coming. However, it can also be a sign of implantation bleeding, which means that you may be pregnant. So if your period is late and you're starting to see that you are having pink discharge, it's probably time for you to take a pregnancy test, sis. Congratulations. Anyways, guys, that is it for today's video. Those are the most common types of vaginal discharge and what they mean. I really hope this video was informative for you. I really hope it answers all of your questions. If there's anything else you guys want to add, as usual, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. If you are not yet part of the family, please don't forget to do so by banging on that subscribe button and turning on your notification bell. And I really hope to see you all in my next one. Bye.